Oh, come on, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is just going to be the ultimate autumn guide. I'm going to talk about fashion, books, music. I just cannot wait. But while I'm filming this video, you're just going to have to completely air the fact that I'm literally wearing a Christmas jumper while filming a video about autumn. I don't know why I decided to wear this specific jumper today, but I'm just so excited to get started, so let's get right on with the video. The first category we're going to touch on is autumn sort of clothing and what sort of clothes you guys should be wearing if you want to fit in with the trends. This year is all about basics. Basic, clean cut outfits are what are in trend. There are a few staple wardrobe pieces that I think you guys should have. First off is any sort of just plain tank top. I got this from H&M and H&M really has the best basics for such affordable prices. I also recommend that you guys just have like a basic long sleeve top in any sort of colour really. These are just really good for layering. This specific one I got from Cotton On and the material is so good and it's also tall girl friendly. For size reference, I got this in a size extra small and I'm 5'10" and the arms still go beyond my arm length. I also recommend just having a few basic turtleneck tops. I'm pretty sure I got this one from Next, but you can really find them anywhere. Also, I think we all know that just basic cardigans are making a comeback, whether it's a grey, navy blue or black cardigan. Just get yourself a good cardigan. I don't specifically have this one, but I have been really loving red cardigans. I think they're so good if you want to add a little bit of pop of colour to your outfits, especially in the autumn. And then in terms of jeans, I think a good pair of long baggy jeans are really good in a darker wash, and also just like a staple pair of straight leg model of duty sort of jeans. Autumn is also the time to be wearing skirts because when it gets to winter, we're not going to be able to rock those skirts anymore. So I think having a nice like full leather skirt in any sort of autumnal colour is a really good staple. And finally, just a striped hoodie. The reason I said striped hoodie specifically is just because I feel like they're so in trend, and also I personally really like dressing in Stockholm style, and this hoodie just screams Stockholm style. When the weather is getting colder, the staples are what we need, so that's what I recommend you guys invest in. The next category I'm going to move on to is the TV shows that to me just scream autumn. I have got a very long list, so I'm just going to kind of speed through it. Okay, so the first TV show recommendation I have for you guys is Good Witch. Our next show is Just Her Magic. If you guys have watched Just Her Magic, you're probably thinking, isn't that a very little kids show? Honestly, for me, it always hits. I've never stopped liking it, really recommend it. You guys should also watch the show Sweet Magnolias. That is a TV series on Netflix. Honestly, the acting is really not that great, but the vibes of the show just kept me watching it. Next up is Virgin River. You guys have probably heard of Virgin River before because I know it was trending on Netflix for a long time, but it's probably one of my favorite shows I've ever watched. Next is Twilight, literally no explanation needed. Gilmore Girls, you guys know, no explanation needed for that. And the next one is Great British Bake Off. I know that's quite unusual for what people would usually say in these sorts of videos, but the Great British Bake Off is about baking, and I think that just evokes a cozy vibe. Because imagine you're making cinnamon rolls and then you're just playing Great British Bake Off in the background. That's just a vibe. Next is Wednesday. It's not my favorite, but I think if you really like spooky things that don't actually scare you, then that's a good show. Next up is Coco. Coco is just such a good film. I also recommend you watch Shadow and Bone and His Dark Materials. You guys should also watch A Good Girl's Guide to Murder as we're getting into the autumn/fall seasons. I feel like murder mystery really is just the sort of cozy thing to watch. When I actually say that out loud, that actually sounds kind of weird. Like, why would murder be a cozy thing to watch? But sticking to that murder theme, watch Knives Out. I don't mean Knives Out Glass Onion. No, the original Knives Out, in my opinion, has always been better. Watch the original Knives Out. It's so autumnal. The cinematography is amazing. It's so funny and the storyline is just elite. I also recommend Lock and Key. Supernatural Academy is actually a great one too. And then Fate the Winx Saga. Okay, so I also put the show Heartland on this list, but looking back at it, I don't really think Heartland screams autumn. I just think it's a generally heartwarming show, so I could recommend that you watch it. You should also watch Grey's Anatomy and The Good Doctor. The Good Doctor, the moment I started watching it, it just really made my heart warm up. There's something about that show, it's just so nice. And then, okay, this last one, you're probably thinking, why would I put this in an autumn video? But you guys should watch Dash and Lily. I know it's a Christmas show, but that show is actually 100% Rotten Tomatoes, which is a really good rating, and it also just made me feel happy. You know, when something makes you feel happy, you should just watch it. And even though it is autumn, you can still get excited about Christmas. Like earlier this afternoon, I was just listening to Last Christmas on repeat. I'm now going to do another speed run of autumn activities that I recommend that you do. If I'm looking down a lot, it's obviously because I'm using my notes app. The first thing you can do is have an autumnal movie night. You can also do baking. As I mentioned earlier, put the Great British Bake Off in the background while you're baking your cinnamon rolls. You could either go on an early morning walk or a late afternoon walk. I feel like this is the time you really feel the most autumn vibes. I also think it would be really fun if you guys explored new cafes or coffee shops, preferably ones within a walking radius of where you live, because then it just makes the whole journey more exciting and it's kind of like your own little adventure. You guys should also plan a reading date with a friend. Colouring is another thing I think would be really fun. You can also rewatch your favourite autumnal TV shows. If you don't want to spend £6 on your pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks, you can find a recipe that you can make at home. I also think that playing board games on a rainy day would be really fun. I know that is so specific. It doesn't have to be a rainy day, but just picture this. You're sitting in your kitchen with your little brother playing chess, or the raindrops are falling and you can see it from the window door thing. You can also just spend some time just making outfits. It's really great to just declutter your room as well. And finally, you can journal. Journaling is something that you can really do all year round, especially in this very transitional moments of our lives from summer to winter. It can be really great to reflect and think about your future plans for the new year. I wanted to now talk about books because reading is one of my main hobbies, and I think that if you read the right books, you can turn into a book lover. I'm just going to go through some books that I think you should read at this time of year. Some of them I have read and some of them I haven't. The first book / series is the Shatter Me series. You can really read it all year round, but dystopian just hits different in autumn and in winter. I also recommend that you read Divergent, and I think you should read The Inheritance Games because it's a mystery, not necessarily a murder mystery. It's just a very mystical school core, study core aesthetic book. And I remember the last time I was reading it, which was almost 2 years ago now actually, I was reading it at this time of year and it just was such a vibe. Shadow and Bone is another really good book. I've spoken about that already. Cruel Prince, I think it's a great book. It's Twin Crowns. You guys might not have heard of Twin Crowns. It is at the moment the top thing on my TBR. Okay, don't hate on me if you have watched my previous videos, but I'm going to recommend that you read Fourth Wing. Even though I said I didn't like it, I think you should read it because you can see for yourself if you like it, and a lot of people have liked it. And yet again, it's another fantasy book which just fits with the autumn vibes. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I don't need to explain why you guys should read that book. And also One of Us is Lying because it's another murder mystery book. These next two books that I wanted to recommend are actually contemporary books, and that is Sweet Magnolias, which is just the book version of the show that I spoke about earlier, and Magnolia Parks. The final book that I wanted to recommend to you guys is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, but it's just the most heartwarming thing to read ever. If you didn't know, To All the Boys was actually written by the same person who wrote The Summer I Turned Pretty. I wanted to just lay back on the listing of different things for a minute and move on to tips on how to romanticize your life. I do feel like to some extent romanticizing your life is very unrealistic because you're obviously not going to have perfect days all the time. I just wanted to share with you a few things that I do that just to make my school days more fun. The first thing is to just have playlists for different occasions. So for instance, I have a playlist for cold nights, which is what I'd be listening to right now. It's the evening, it's dark. Then I also have my just general autumn playlist, which I'll listen to whenever I really want to feel like I'm in the autumn vibes. I also have a playlist called Girls Just Want to Have Fun. This last playlist I have, you're probably going to be a bit confused, but I'll explain to you what I mean when I explain the title of it. The other playlist that I have is called She's Priceless, Drop Dead Gorgeous, The Most Famous Place in the World, The Cover of Vogue, The It Girl in London, Paris and Milan. Okay, so if I said that in a little bit more of like a presenter sort of voice, you would have known that that's actually the popular audio. And the reason I named it this is just because I found the playlist on Spotify, and I don't have Spotify, so I just recreated it and added a few songs on Apple Music. I don't really know what this playlist means to other people, but for me it just kind of provokes being the best version of myself. When I'm listening to it, I just feel like my higher self. I feel like I'm putting in a lot of effort into my schoolwork, and I just feel very proud of myself. You guys should also just have slow mornings. In the autumn and in the winter, it's cold when you wake up, it's dark when you wake up. There's no lying about that. In the winter, when you really think about it, you don't have many motivators to actually go to school. Why would you want to go to school when it's raining and cold? That's why slow mornings are really important. You need to give your body the time to wake up. The final thing that you can do to romanticize your life is to just make more home cooked meals. Even if you don't really buy takeout that much like me, you can still put the extra effort into your meals like breakfast and lunch. Instead of having a basic sandwich, you can make yourself a nice salad with some protein, or even at breakfast don't have cereal. The final category now I want to talk about is different songs that you guys should add to your playlist. I'm just going to try and speed run through this section again because I feel like for songs there's not much explanation needed. Just to let you know, all these songs I'm talking about right now specifically fit into the autumn vibe and they're actually in my autumn playlist. So the first song is Roses. I'll put the songs up on the screen so I don't have to say who it's by. Next song is Illicit Affairs. Then also There She Goes. I feel like everybody knows this song. Kiss Me because... No, don't kiss me. I'm just joking. It's the name of the song, Kiss Me. The next song is Heaven Knows I'm Miserable by The Smiths. Uptown Girl. Also recommend the song Velvet Ring. The song Sparks and Yellow by Coldplay were also really good. Also the song Iris. Everything Has Changed by Taylor Swift featuring Ed Sheeran. Original version, not Taylor's version. Somewhere Only We Know. Restacks by Bon Iver. And then this song, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but it's a Billie Eilish song. Also the song Wildflower by Billie Eilish. Also the song Blue by Billie Eilish. Also the song Skinny by Billie Eilish. Also the song Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Pretty much all of Billie Eilish's new songs in her new album actually ate down. And then Stargirl Interlude by The Weeknd featuring Lana Del Rey. Next is The Girl with the Tattoo Interlude. And the last two songs are Starboy by The Weeknd and CPR by Summer Walker. Oh yes, I forgot to mention a few songs that were actually really good. So, okay, I don't know how to explain this. I haven't watched Bridgerton, but they have their music soundtrack. So if you search up Bridgerton soundtrack, it comes up with some popular songs, but they're the instrumentals. So for instance, Ariana Grande's song POV, they used it in the show, but they did it as an instrumental with very fancy instruments, and it's just very calming to listen to. That is it for this video. I hope it hasn't been too boring and I hope it hasn't just been me ranting, but I just genuinely love filming this video, and let me know if you guys liked it too because I'm definitely up to be making more videos like this.